The afternoon sun in Mumbai cast long shadows as little Anya's school bus pulled away. Anya, in her crisp school uniform, settled into the plush leather seats of their chauffeur-driven car. Every day, the route home was the same, a familiar tapestry of bustling streets and vibrant colors. But there was one constant that always caught Anya's eye. Just before the flyover, near the old banyan tree, sat an old woman on a small mat. Her face, etched with the stories of time, was kind. Each day, she sold small, colorful clay figurines of gods and goddesses. Their bright hues seemed to glimmer even in the dusty afternoon light. Anya always glanced at her, a silent question in her young eyes. Her family lived in a grand house, filled with beautiful things, but there was something about the old woman's simple creations that held a quiet charm. One particularly warm afternoon, the traffic was unusually heavy. The car crawled along, giving Anya an unhurried view. The old woman looked up as their car inched closer. For the first time, their eyes met, and the old woman offered a gentle smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Anya, without thinking, smiled back. It was a small exchange, but it felt significant. The next day, Anya couldn't wait for the drive home. As they approached the banyan tree, she leaned forward, her heart beating a little faster. The old woman was there, her colorful figurines arranged neatly on her mat. This time, Anya did something she had never done before. "Uncle Ravi," she said to the chauffeur, her voice a little hesitant, Can we stop for a moment?" Ravi, a kind man who had known Anya since she was a baby, looked at her in surprise. Wealthy children from her background rarely interacted with street vendors. But seeing the earnestness in her eyes, he nodded and put the car in park. Anya carefully opened the door and stepped out onto the busy street. The old woman watched her approach, a curious but welcoming look on her face. "Namaste, child," she said, her voice a little raspy but warm. "What brings you here?" Anya, a little shy at first, pointed to a small, blue Krishna figurine. "It's very beautiful," she said softly, and just like that, a conversation began. The old woman, whose name was Lakshmi, told Anya stories about the gods and goddesses she sculpted. She spoke of bravery, kindness, and the importance of helping others. Anya listened, fascinated. She learned that Lakshmi lived in a small nearby community and had been selling her crafts for many years to make ends meet. From that day on, every afternoon, Anya would ask Ravi to stop by the banyan tree. She would spend a few precious minutes with Lakshmi, sometimes buying a figurine, sometimes just chatting. They became unlikely friends, a young girl from a privileged world and an old woman with a humble life, connected by simple kindness and shared stories. One day, Anya noticed Lakshmi looked unwell. Her usual bright smile was dimmed, and her movements were slow. "Auntie Lakshmi, are you all right?" Anya asked, her brow furrowed with concern. Lakshmi sighed softly. "This old body is tired, child," she said, "and my eyesight, it's not as good as it used to be. It's becoming difficult to make my figurines." Anya felt a pang of sadness in her heart. She wanted to help, but she wasn't sure how. That evening, she told her mother Priya about Lakshmi. Priya listened patiently, though she seemed a little distant, her gaze far away. The next afternoon, as Anya and Ravi approached the banyan tree, Lakshmi wasn't there. Anya's heart sank. Where could she be? Had something happened to her? Just as worry started to creep in, Anya saw Ravi pull the car up to a small, simple house a little further down the street. "This is where Auntie Lakshmi lives," Ravi explained. "I asked around yesterday." Anya slowly left the car and approached the house. The door was slightly ajar. She gently pushed it open and stepped inside. The room was small and sparsely furnished, but it was clean. and sitting on a low cot was Lakshmi, looking even weaker than the day before. But what caught Anya's eye was a faded photograph on a small wooden table beside the cot. It was a picture of a young woman, her face radiant and smiling, holding a baby. And Anya gasped softly because the young woman in the photograph looked exactly like her mother, Priya. "Auntie Lakshmi," Anya asked, her voice trembling, Who is this in the picture?" Lakshmi looked at the photograph, her eyes clouding with a mix of sadness and a flicker of recognition. That is Priya," she whispered, her voice weak. "My little Priya." Anya's mind raced. Her mother's name was Priya, but Lakshmi called her little Priya. "Could it be you? You know my mother?" Anya asked, her voice barely a whisper. Lakshmi nodded slowly, tears welling up in her eyes. "I was her nanny," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "I looked after her from when she was a tiny baby." Anya was stunned. Her mother had never spoken of a nanny. What had happened? Gently, Anya helped Lakshmi sit up a little more comfortably and asked her what had happened. Lakshmi recounted a sad tale of a family misunderstanding many years ago, which had led to her leaving Priya's family. She had tried to find them again, but with no success, and over time, she had lost hope. Just then, Anya heard the familiar sound of her family's other car pulling up outside. Her mother, Priya, had come looking for her. Anya rushed out, her eyes wide with the incredible news. "Mummy," she exclaimed, pulling Priya towards Lakshmi's small house. "Mummy, it's Lakshmi, Auntie. She was your nanny." Priya stepped into the small room, her eyes falling on the frail old woman on the cot. Recognition dawned slowly, then flooded her face. Tears streamed down Priya's cheeks as she rushed to Lakshmi, falling to her knees beside her. "Lakshmigi," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "Is it really you?" It was a tearful reunion. Years of separation melted away as mother and former nanny embraced. Priya was overwhelmed with emotion, remembering the kind woman who had cared for her in her early years. She had often wondered what had happened to her beloved Lakshmi. Anya watched, her heart filled with joy. Her chance friendship with the kind old woman had unexpectedly reunited her mother with someone very dear from her past. Priya insisted that Lakshmi come and live with them in their big house, where she would be cared for and loved. Lakshmi, initially hesitant, eventually agreed, her eyes filled with gratitude. From that day on, Lakshmi became a cherished member of Anya's family. She shared stories of Priya's childhood, filled the house with laughter, and her wise words became a source of comfort and guidance. Anya continued to spend time with Lakshmi, their bond deepening with the shared secret of their unexpected connection. Anya learned a valuable lesson, that kindness and friendship can bridge any gap, whether of age or circumstance. She learned that everyone has a story, and sometimes the most wonderful connections can be found in the most unexpected places. And most importantly, she learned the enduring power of human connection and the joy of bringing happiness to others.